Politics now for Ghana, no, it's not really helping us. It's not really helping us because the people are suffering, and I don't know whether democracy is good for Ghana. NDC, MPP, I don't know whether it's really good for us because we have a lot of years that NDC are ruling and a lot of years that MPP are ruling. NDC are ruling more than MPP. But what he was talking about was the borrowing and what the money was used for.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with borrowing.
About too much GH so munia banana ama usua enye na sabe my crado my mo ensem dia kwa drew and mede ebesomo na senata no ye no edu ensema koso mama be se yempese yembie mu ne ntwem na se obi enya no ho entiase de babo man kwa ene ka ho asem na sa no entino ye bepie mu ewo Faith Army Chapel International ye ne sofu penyi awada no Apostle Dr. Walter Sakwa Mante everything komo edefa the current situation at hand ewo my God na mo amobesha ene enkomo de obia no a obia ka ho ensem Captain Smart morning show host the man of for Angel Broadcasting Network the suspension abeto just say the amano no cramp no mu aba bonten abetire de ntia ye man suspension na kwan fa so the man suspension no no ekota encheno ne wo fe ofo na wo biem na go social media trend back kwa go viral pa and fix the country ho ensensem na ababebre obi ani views fa ho eno so yebedi ho enkomo na ebiem nso no enkranfo emema yete amamre bomu mebusumo motai de ban to dede yo eso no enensen na isifa etie ye krado neje ebre na hwe me yetwan ho abatisi a ye ba ye de komo ne be hye so Mr. Asuma wakwa babiem na buami niema Apostle Dr. Sakwa Mante akwa bashongo emba fidi so Apostle mwakwa go
not to say
emi adom bi hoye Apostle share ya che
achepa ba emi adom bi hoye
Ize bia da bokodi ana se betimi akokomo no eso na Apostle edi bia ase na Apostle yenhwe Captain Smart the suspension abeto wafemu say is it fair like with all the situations surrounding it circumstances are by some abeto efa ekwanya nam so my suspend do you think that it's fair?
Well, first of all, Angel TV meaning is a network of companies of radio. We have about 20 stations that they from Angel Broadcasting Network.
Yes.
They have an internal rules and they have their direction. And if you follow the internal rules, is one thing. You don't follow is another thing. But let's go to the crux of the matter. The system is a bit tensed up, and everybody is speaking about, say, fixing the country. And Captain Smart very carefully now. In the past, he has criticized previous governments.
Yes, true.
And he would take the audit report and criticize who did this, who did that. And quite frankly, it's being a bit balanced. And so he's got a lot of people watching, or a lot of audience.
Yeah.
Early in the morning.
Yes, from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Yeah.
He gets a lot of, he's one of the most listened to
radio
morning show ever Ghana.
True.
At the moment. I mean, we have good content in other stations like Joy, City FM.
Even despite media house also.
Yeah, they have. But these, attract a lot of attention. So the audience here is very, very huge. And the issues that he was talking about was about borrowing. This issue of borrowing. Politics now for Ghana, no, it's not really helping us. It's not really helping us because the people are suffering. And I don't know whether democracy is good for Ghana, NDC, MPP, I don't know whether it's really good for us because we have a lot of years that NDC are ruling, and a lot of years are NPP are ruling. NDC are ruling more than NPP. But what he was talking about was the borrowing and what the money was used for.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with borrowing if we all understand it. But the problem is what the borrowing was used for. Unfortunately, COVID is one, and also until the freebies culture and indeed, we feel that now we are on a certain threshold of economic difficulty. We have 76% of our entire, debt is over GDP. Look, that's quite a bit high.
Yeah, it's very huge.
We share Africa averagely is about 50-60%, but still there was sugar and a lot of consumption and not infrastructure. Now, reality, my humble opinion is that Kusida has a passion to work. The reality on the ground is that people are suffering. People are suffering. And you have to be careful when you're speaking around this time.
Okay.
And when somebody is suffering, they don't care what caused the suffering. Once they are suffering, they will react to it. And so let's see what should happen. I feel that it's very important that people are voicing out. They allow them to voice out. We are all feeling the heat. But the government has about 3 more years they can use to
turn things around.
And to me feels that my humble advice to the president, he should come back. Look, let's be sincere. I saw Baumia trying to use the whole thing, 17%. Okay, somebody's suffering. He's not there 72%, 3%. We did it. It's not data.
Okay.
He can't find food to eat. He can't find water. He can't find electricity. So let's come to the drawing table and say, look, indeed, we have challenges. The COVID has messed us up. We thought we could do this, but sincerely, these are the challenges that we encountered. What do we do to make sure we move the country forward? And let people bring ideas, devoid of, political influence. We should have a very wonderful discussion with the people that we can say, okay, we can do it in 3 years, we can do it in 2 years. The things that we said we couldn't do them, and we believe that with your help we can do it. And let's have a conversation on the matter. You understand? I feel that the ministers that Nando has should be a bit more proactive. And now he's about 76 years old.
Yeah.
People should be proactive, and they should annoy the public the more and say that fix your attitude. We need leadership to fix things. So the leadership should not come from Nando alone. It should come from the ministers that are around him and the people that work with him. For bread. And see, we should have a certain perspective about where we are heading towards. People want the pain to be alleviated. And we are used to freebies. Don't get us wrong.
Okay.
Our politicians have showed us freebies. We've enjoyed free electricity for a long time, free water for a long time, free SHS, free. We can't tighten our belts to pay a bit more taxes. We can't tighten. But the pain is gone too much overboard, and people can't bear it. People are not being told the truth. And the lack of the truth, that is what is manifesting. The politicians have spoken a lot of things, which is not a true situation of
at hand.
And people are angry because you told us this, you didn't do this. So we should come back to the drawing table and talk to the people. Say, we see how to help fix it. Whether we like it or not, the approach we are taking and telling the people that they should fix their attitude, even though some of the things they are saying is true. When somebody is angry, you manage things well. Anger, and you escalate here. Look, the country will become ungovernable. And Timmy said, let's calm down. Calm the people down and tell them that, look, we can do this together. Both on the part of the politicians, we didn't do it well. And both on the part of the people, can we come together as a debate? Who can solve this? Because look, let them come sincere. It's not time to, now I try to now
But also it looks like you have quickly jumped into the fix the country saga. But let's look at Captain Smart's situation.
Okay.
He is a media personality, and we know media management say they are the intermediary between the government and the people.
Yeah.
They speak to educate and to inform.
Okay.
So if anything at all, if the people are going through things that they cannot directly get to the government and talk to them about, it's through the media that it can get out there so that everybody becomes aware of it. So if as a media personality and with such a platform, a man for share the programs, and he thinks the problem on board have a lot to do with the government in power, that the government in power should come up with ideas or come back and do things better, and he speaks about it, does it guarantee that his boss should be pressured to suspend him or even fire him from his position as a media personality?
See, the problem is that the PRO of the company has not come to speak.
The company ABN this morning, they announced through the replacement that they have given for him, the replacement that is taking over for him, that he was suspended because he had been warned several times to check how he speaks against the government. His harsh tone is not condoned. So that is their reason that they gave on their platform for firing him or suspending him, as he said. But according to him personally, he said his boss, that is Dr. Kokuatin, called him that the GRA have been calling him, GRA office have been calling him about some of his utterances, and it's like he has spoken against.
No, GRA office has nothing to do with it.
That is the issue. And when GRA comes in, it's connected to the government because GRA is a state-owned institution.
GRA has to do with money. I don't know whether it's
a tax office. They have power to close down your office if indeed they are able to
find. But if they are not paying their taxes, then they should be able to go there and collect their taxes.
So that's the issue now. People want to understand what is the connection. Yes, what the connection is between Dr. Kokuatin and the GRA office. That the GRA office can give him a call, talk to him about his employee, and give him pressure enough to even sack or suspend him.
So what we are saying is that do we have any political or governmental, influence behind this?
Yes, people are like, this government, you can't talk about them. It's like when you say something that does not go in line with what they want to hear, then it means you are in trouble.
Okay. I think that we have to come and clear the air concerning a lot of things. The impression, people are getting that impression. Normally, the PRO of the government should be able to come and correct it and make sure that we don't go in that direction. Indeed, there have been complaints about Ahmed Swale.
Yeah.
There have been complaints about Manasseh Azuri, complaints about other media personnel, that were, so to speak, maltreated. But we've had a certain culture over the years, all the time. And if we have to be able to do this, I think that's going to help us. The correction should be ongoing. Our democracy is evolving, so the correction should be ongoing. What I can advise is that we should take a clue from that. I mean, I keep saying that Fernando, he has good intentions. But then what should happen is that the people that work with him to make sure the government is properly, done, should be proactive enough to try to, solve this problem, to make sure that impression is not created. Otherwise, he used to be an activist. He was the one that enforced the paying of the criminal libel law. Remember, he was very influential in ensuring that really happens. So if this is happening, are we having a different president or so? That's $1 million question to us. I think that, for me, sitting back, the ministers should be a bit more proactive. And then the people that he works with should be a bit more proactive. And the work behind the scenes should be much more done such that it doesn't create a question. And media freedom should be allowed.
That's the issue.
Because if media freedom is not allowed, we don't have a government, we don't have a thriving nation. Look, they are catching. Other African countries, Uganda has its own electric bus.
Okay.
Go to Rwanda. They are developing at a very fast rate. Other African countries are doing well. I mean, the world has changed. Even African countries are doing well.
Okay.
So we should be proactive. And we should be reactive to situations. We shouldn't look at the bad side of it. But then in Ghana, when you do what, people will applaud you. So my humble advice is that we should not look at this as personal. And I want to put pressure very much so on the people that work with the president. But for the president, I know for a fact that he has good intentions. But the people that he's working with should be so proactive enough to shield him, to stop the situation and make sure press freedom becomes the order of the day at once. You know, it's on. I mean, so it brings the issue of the culture of silence, really.
Okay, so the Amma Captain Smart's suspension are becoming a highly spoke about topic today is because there's the same government that is pushing for the RTI, that is the law for press freedom. Is it RTP? Yes. The
right to information.
Yes, right to information. Like the press should have the freedom to have information. Yes. Like they are pushing this, but this has been in process for years and it hasn't been pushed as a law. It's still a bill in government.
I think that what has happened to it?
It's still
you move to a second step.
It's still pending. It has not been approved to be a law. So this is the kind of government that is pushing. Yes, this is a government that is pushing for this, and this same government is now coming at a journalist through his employer that he has spoken against him. When the fact on the board is that he spoke about the irregularities in the governance. So what's going on?
I feel that, that's what I'm saying, that if we don't have the media, we don't have the nation. And so the media should be strengthened. As a matter of fact, the direction it's going, people will become a bit more angry. That's what I'm saying, that the key players, the key factors should act quickly.
Okay.
Now, I'm only trying to give an advice. I don't want to condemn an act. I feel that we should act quickly to make sure, it doesn't really escalate. So it's maybe a drill there. I since who said naturally prefer I bored, prefer angry. And the pandemic is also part of it. The pressure, the increase of things in the market, people cementing around 50 cities.
52 cities, maybe when you went to go there.
No, and easy. People are really feeling the pressure. You're interested in better, we can help. The government should come clear. Talk to the old man. Come clear and say, okay, let's give a proposal. Give us 1 year. 1 year, we are all going to go through this. But after 1 year, we are going to do a lot of agriculture, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Problems. When you get taxed next year, this year, they need to tell you, because they are in power.
Okay.
That's my humble advice. Say yes or no. Everybody will come back. Let's talk to us.
The government should talk to the people.
Talk to the people.
Okay.
The government should talk to the people and accept that. Listen, because they have even accepted in principle, said, coffee, no, they have, Say, okay. Now fix it. How do we fix it? My 1 year.
Okay.
My 1 year. Give us 1 year. Sir, help us. We admit it. Oh, yeah, sir. Because I didn't know feeling was there. Or Brian was there. Oh, yeah, you're in maybe in that. Tell them, okay, give us 1 year target. We can fix it. We know that we have admitted there's a problem. Okay. In principle.
Yeah.
Until my 1 year, the best fix it. Second year, come in. But we are tightening the seatbelt before we cast us out. But I know approaching it better. But we defend it too much. Now, 5% not yet now. Oh no, yeah, then you see percentage 3%. Until 3% not you. How many will understand percentage increase? Whatever. Until let's come to the drawing table. No casa, inform fan microphone on casa. I believe, sir. I'm met me I baby.
Met my baby. Yes, Sami Jefi or Kasafa Captain Smart. The suspension or kakra. I would like to read so that we can go on from there. Say, just learning that the host of Angel FM's morning show, Captain Smart, has been taken off air due to pressure from certain higher ups in the intolerant Akufo-Addo government. Apparently, these NPP bigwigs are not enthused with how critical the journalist has become of the failed Akufo-Addo regime in recent time. This typifies the culture of silence that is fast creeping back into our body politics under the watch of President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia. The CEO and management of Angel Broadcasting Limited must bow their heads down in shame. That's the extract. Let's look at from their last term to this term, the beginning of the new term, that's the 4 year term. Akufo-Addo's government, when last year was ending had issues with the special prosecutor they themselves brought into office, all because of some form of allegations that came up about major power royalty deals, and other issues that had to do with the members of the Kufuor government. And that issue ended up in Martin Amidu resigning the prosecutor. Afterwards, after the elections, we got to know that Domelovo, the name is another name, I always have problems mentioning Domelovo or something like that. The auditor was also given a forced leave. And afterwards, when he came back, he was sacked from his position. That his time was up to retire. And all this issue comes like they are all people who have tried to stand firmly against the irregularities or the corruption going on in the governance of Kufuor. And as soon as they start speaking, they have to leave their position. They have to be silent some way or the other. Now that it's Captain Smart's turn as a media personality to be speaking about the problems, touching on issues that are, that Ghanaians need solutions. The Ghanaians need to hear the government speak about, like galamsey, cocoa processing, and also now that China is also exporting cocoa, and all those issues about our GDP, as you just mentioned, and other issues. And he's touching on these issues, and now the government feel offended that he speaks too much against their governance, so he has to be removed. So with all these issues, is it not like this governance is just intolerant, doesn't want to be, it's becoming authoritative or dictatorial?
Yeah, I mean, the perception out there will be like that, whether we like it or not.
Okay.
And people are not, people are observant. People are discerning. Ghanaians discerning.
Yeah, it's very discerning.
It takes time for us to act. We started acting. And easy. Until I feel sad upon my job. Where things are going on, they should be a bit more proactive. And I think maybe offer advice.
Yeah.
Everything. If you look at the Japan deal, and then Martin Amidu's resignation and the Desenia, you were trying to,
Those are instances like people who have stood up against the governance and they have been eliminated.
If you look at that, I mean, Domelebo, for example, it's a perception said he's a political phase of NDC. And in the part two, because Martin Amidu came there, even though, he had, there was bad relation between him and NDC, he was also seen as, to some extent, as a political phase of NDC, to some extent.
Okay.
Because whether you like it or not, because what I heard was at the point in time, Rollins got to know about the information and things like that. There's a political phase to it. If we keep political phase to issues, I keep saying, we'll never go anywhere as a nation.
That is politicizing everything. That is
the NDC, MPP. Let's look at developing our country.
Okay.
We should do everything. In fact, if everybody is going to be very sincere with me, let's even stop the manifestos. We should have
from parties.
Yes.
Okay.
We should have a national plan. But when another party comes to power, you take advantage in having a manifesto. But your national plan, that aspect of politicization, and I know to me why. So the thing about we are there, you are saying you are spoiling our country. It is not because you belong to this party. We are going to allow you to do that.
Okay.
What I say. So a political phase was given to that philosophy, which didn't really help. You understand? Because it is coming from another political party. But if you look at Captain Smart, be very sincere, clearly, it doesn't look like there was any political phase. Because he is, he used to hit NDC.
Yes. And
so there's no political phase. That makes it a bit worrying. Well, it shouldn't affirm what people's perception is all about the government. That's what I'm saying. That, I don't put blame on that. I put blame more on those that work with him. They should be able to come up with strategic solutions. Because if everybody,
so everyone will just be looking up to him.
Well, I decided not to do that.
Okay.
Because the man is 76 years.
Yes.
He works with people. You understand? For example, he works with people. And you can see clearly that sometimes they are not proactive. You are a minister. You represent him. Like as a pastor, I represent God on earth. There are certain things I do because I'm a man of God.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So we should be able to be proactive and say, okay, let's do this. And no, guess. When you get together, you realize that you'll be able to carry a certain message. And when he understands it, we can come to the drawing table and say, okay, let's go about it this way. Let's resolve this. Because the people are not happy. They want things to be done. People, there's an anger brewing. That's like this. Anger being brewing. It's like, and boy station cry. And they should come clear and say, okay, only if you are doing it, how do we solve it? Talk to us. I'm on fire in Casa. And yes, Anna, the perception is created and you're fine.
Okay.
And what I think should be done, they said, let's look for more solution. The impression that is created out there is not really helping.
It's not really helping. Okay, Apostle, let's take a look at the next issue, that is the Fix the Country campaign that is going viral. Everybody talking about Fix the Country, some saying fix your attitude, some saying pay tax. And we know it's viral, but the Fix the Country is the one that is leading everything. But before we even go to that issue, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan William in 2019 made a prophecy about this thing. He said once during an interview on Metro TV that there is a wave coming, that the youth are going to rise up against the government and they will be looking for change, and if not given to them, because the state where they are and where they're coming from, they have nothing to lose. It might turn to something else. So the government should be very aware and find steps to avoid such things like that. Let's take a look at the video. You're video no Ebra. Now you're video ni ba. Then we will discuss about the issues around that video.
I'm telling you something. There is a wind coming.
Wow.
And it's not 2019. It will begin after 2020 going.
After 2020, there's a wind coming.
There's a wind coming. The Arab uprising is coming.
Here.
It's coming. It's coming.
By the youth.
It's coming not just to Ghana, West Africa, all over, if we don't do something. Because you see, look at a lot of these youth. They've graduated from school. They are home, no job. Some of them, you go to these car washing places, you see 10 young men who have graduated from university washing one car. And then they have to wait for some hours before another car comes. Some of them live in these kiosks. You know, we have kiosk estates these days.
Yeah.
Opposite the wealthy areas.
Yeah.
And they know the people who live in the community. They went to school, some of their kids. Some of them know the families. They have nothing. Suddenly they go into politics and they have everything. And they drive the best, they fly the best. Their children go to school abroad and everything. And they're sitting down there looking at all of this and saying, hey, wow, this thing is interesting. After a while, if we don't give them hope, that's why I'm going back to the schools.
Speak to them.
And I'm engaging the youth again. Because if we don't give them hope and a sense of direction, the most dangerous thing in life is to fight somebody who has nothing to lose. They don't have wives, they don't have children, they don't have cars, they don't have lands, they have no hope, nothing to live for, they don't mind dying.
So our politics is treading on dangerous grounds.
It is. Africa. Because I see it everywhere. And it's very scary and very worrying. That
Will the wind start from Ghana?
I don't know, but it's coming to West Africa.
After 2020?
Yeah, after 2020 going, 2021, 2022, 3, 4 going, if something don't change to give the youth hope, I'm telling you, and I'm speaking.
Do you think this 25-year plan will work?
It will work if only our leaders, especially former presidents and the leaders of today, will come together and say, hey, let's take hold of our country. Let's do something, because this party politics.
For a year video, no, a year papa, Archbishop Duncan William, Casafa, a year with Bia Eben, no, Meguna, I'm sorry, and at the Siakoshe at Yabana, even the same say, video, they will come on, and then I say, they also with Fix the Country Ghana. hashtag man for pushing in some would have because of this hashtag. And you be to send a woman set demonstration, would demonstration at all costs. No, a year prophecy way and one now, and no see another thing. Yen shame said and no subebana. I was with what Papa Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams said. Is it connected to this hashtag trend? This is how we are cafes, the country kind of thing. Like the youth are out there speaking about it in every way they can.
There are a few things in common.
Okay.
Clearly, once a for bread, it's an kind.
Yeah.
When you are in the soup, you feel it, you react. You understand? Especially as you work at school now, after all these years and after school, you don't have a job. And nothing is working, you still feel the pain. And then whatever you do, we have to be careful here because my main cancer, you share a system now. If we are not careful and we allow it to happen, we can't handle it. So Yeshua said,
what are we allowing to happen? Can we be frank about state it bluntly, say, what are we allowing to happen?
We are allowing the young men to be jobless.
The young men, the youth to be jobless?
Yes, we shouldn't allow it to happen. We should do quickly. If everything we said we want to do, we should just go ahead and do it. We shouldn't allow it to happen. And quickly, I feel it's a revelation. And everything that we have to do to allow it to happen should be allowed to happen. Okay. We should be sincere. One of the major problems of the youth is the corruption they see around. And yet they can't afford 3 square miles. And one person will have so much money and nothing is done about it.
Live in comfort
and they suffer. When the nation belongs to everybody. And we shouldn't allow that to happen quickly. We should, as leaders, rally around and find solutions to it. Thus, for me, in ruling a nation, some of these things come up, but how we resolve it quickly, is very important. And to get it together. This is what is happening. We shouldn't be provocative and provoking the youth even more. We should look for solutions. And tell the people, sometimes you have to apologize to your son. And tell your son, look, I'm sorry, I didn't go about it well.
Okay.
Can we do this better? Can we do it again? Can we do it again? I think we can do it again. And the country thing, I don't think is political. And potentially what happens is that political parties, as soon as politics comes into play into this, that's it. Well, and I think so we should be careful that the politicians don't take advantage of it. Otherwise become a political agenda, a political protest, which is not good. A banasana, it will, mess up the whole, campaign. But we should take politics out of it. These are people, some of them are even people who voted for the NPP.
Yeah.
But they are feeling the pain. They are feeling neglected. They are feeling the pinch. So what we need to do is let's see how we can resolve it. That's why I said we have to speak to the people, speak to the masses, and tell them something a bit more pragmatic. Let's all get on deck. Let's all try to get solutions. We can have a solution to the problem. And balance idea, tension, because people are the youth, and the youth have energy, and when it's such that the energy has piled up to a certain level and they don't have use for it, they will end up fighting.
So then, if it's like I say, Amrobi cases are also ritual killings and all these are connected to this issue.
You can connect it to joblessness.
Oh, okay.
And the as a professor will survive it
at all costs.
At all costs.
Okay.
The other aspects, which is greed, but get rich quick mentality. No?
But now, in these days, they're more rampant than previous years.
Yeah, but the get rich quick thing and so on.
Okay.
But basically, pressure now does. Well, I do not think, say, the taxes are imposed and government say, to save the economy, we cannot entirely say, okay, then let's put it aside. And the rest of our more again is idea. And they should talk to us and tell us the truth. and say that this is how we can solve it. Give us timelines. 1 year. After the following year, we believe that these are going to get better. I don't know better.
Yeah, sure, some of the issues are coming up on board. Doing so was during the previous administration. And now, as at the time we're going to end, almost we solving the situation. We were able to salvage the situation. Doing so to try and answer the change of government. This government spoke against Dumso in the previous administration, saying, Dumso doing this, killing businesses, and they come first term, second term, and Dumso is coming back. Again, the case of Galamsey, they said we were going to fight Galamsey, we were not going to allow it to destroy our water bodies. Now Galamsey has become another problem again, and to the extent said, these same people who said we are going to fight against it, they have been like found that some of the people from this same administration are part of the people doing this same issue, like involved in this same problem. It's now, you see, the fix the nation issue, if you want to, then you come to education too. Now, education has turned to something political. We don't know when we are going back, so we don't have a system that is working, that is, okay, this time you have to be in school, this time you have to be at home. Now, at any time you can be in school, at any time you can be at home. We know COVID has come. COVID, but your school, same, we have water crisis and all that. Electricity problems, like everything is messed up. What are people supposed to do? The government is telling us, oh, everything is going on well. The government is trying to communicate, but still, there are problems on board.
We shouldn't come and say government is solving. It will not help the situation.
Okay.
They should approach the people. What is the problem? We know their problem. Can we solve it together? You understand? These counter hashtag and those things that I will not have. Let me come to them. So I recall said previously, Mahama tried to solve them. But to be very sincere, it was very intense until the time they brought some PPAs and they solved it. In my humble opinion, it was solved.
Yeah.
But it was very painfully solved. And then we had extra energy. So according to the PPs that were signed, I was listening to a few people, communicators in the political parties. They said we had extra, energy. And they said that, okay,
we even export some to other countries.
Yes, and that was not done. They are saying, okay, because it was not done, the previous government wasted it. Now, listen to me. If you have extra energy, it was visionary. It was meant to do something good to us. Because looking at one district, one factory, if indeed we were able to do the factories at the rate at which we wanted to do it, we would have needed the extra energy.
Yes.
Would have been able to export. So for that argument, into Ankoyi, I feel that's no way to analyze things. That's why I'm saying that if you are put in the position of a minister and you analyze things like that, I'll be worried. You don't expect the president to be an energy expert.
Yes,
you don't expect him to be an energy expert. You should be analyzed. Okay, Mr. President, this is what you have this. Because otherwise it would be a waste. And not come and answer everybody who clap their hands like that. Where did you go to school? That's the first thing. And so the Dumso thing is worrying. And there was an introduction of an energy levy. Well, I don't know. Because they politicize. Sometimes they only a politics now. I don't want to listen. Because NDC, they will come and say yes. And we will come.
So we never find solutions.
We never find solutions. And what is even more painful is that when they are talking about solving the problem and there's a problem, they will not address the problem more. They will refer to how any previous party performed.
Okay.
What it is. I don't want to hear that. It's a problem. Let's solve it. Okay, Dumso, this is the way forward. I think, sir, we should be able to, whether we have to go back to the energy levy and make sure we have, because there's no money, it's still a financial issue. In NDC time, they said it was financial, still financial. Rico needs money. Rico had issues with salaries, even paying salaries at the point in time. What himself? Yeah. Until they also have problems. The lines must be changed. What is it? Money. Everything is money now. So we don't have money.
And at the same time, they are pushing the public to also pay other taxes. New taxes have been introduced.
That's why we have to pay taxes to be able to get money. We don't have money.
And so the problem has to be
a lot of loans.
The problem has to be.
That's why I'm saying that it's economics.
Okay.
Whatever, otherwise we are going to have a lot of inflation. we are going to have it. We try to do otherwise. Okay. So we need to generate the money within the same system.
Okay.
You understand? And then actually block areas and leakages in the system so that we can have some reserve to be able to take care of our situations. What did the say? And to do so area, we feel said we have to be able to solve it well. The problem is that we are over politicized the doom sort issue. We should make sure that we create a certain system where there is always adequate resources in the area, eventually managing the energy deficit. Now, it's not that we can't produce. It is just because our lines we need repairs, we need renovation, we need money to do all that. So we feel that the truth must be told, the solutions must come. I don't put blame on one particular party. Over the years, after Kwame Nkrumah came, we've not managed our energy resources well. We have a reserve for, let's say, like $10 billion for solving energy problems. Right. We have not planned well. We have not strategized well. Everybody has messed up. And all we do is politics. That's why even the fix the thing, country thing, nobody wants to politicize that anymore. They are tired.
The people are tired.
The people are tired because these young people are brain.
Okay.
And to Uber, so be room over, they are
attacked.
You're not careful now.
Okay.
You handle that, you politics not out of it. You share pragmatic solutions. Who call that proposal a fine, who chairperson that you can be an energy expert, be a doctor, be a consultant, be everybody. Why are they standing? Well, I don't get it. If they come to the job, they should resign and get people to do it.
Okay.
And to be frank with you, everybody's putting blame. I won't do that. I'm saying the people he works with must be armed and doing. I'm telling you.
Okay, so between the fix the country and fix your attitude, that's another campaign other people have brought up to counter the fix the country. Which one is more relevant? Which one do we do first?
You see,
is it our attitude first or the country?
If we fix the country, it will help us to fix the attitude.
So the country first?
The country first.
So it has to do with the government?
It has to do with the government must help us to fix the country first. And laws and regulations must be put in place. Saying, we can be able to solve this problem. Almost some of the laws can be very, very harsh, but we have to get a solution. Say, can't I say ourselves near the idea? Take say ourselves is another complicated issue. When they started burning the
excavators,
the water is clearing. Well, and the political wheels should be there to stop the government. Say, well, I'm saying that it was handled and we couldn't missing expectations. I thought that even burning the excavators wouldn't be the solution because there were roads we
also need a work on them.
And without these excavators, we can even clear them and the potholes will be cleared. Achieving it.
I say a crime. It's a crime.
But bring them, confiscate it.
Okay.
Let's pass a law, Parliament. Confiscate all excavators. We can't speak on property.
Wait a minute, John, but it has been done before. Excavators had been seized, brought to Accra, but they vanished.
They brought it to Accra.
And
what?
As what? As confiscated,
They were not confiscated.
They were seized.
As government properties.
They were just seized. That's what the government
seizing is one thing. They can confiscate it. They can take those as government properties and use them.
But it was seized.
Give it to districts.
Okay.
Let them use it to clear the roads. Every time roads say clear. Go to the hinter, go to Amasama.
Who will take charge of those things? Who will take charge? Because everybody is
there should be a ministry for it. Great city, there's no ministry of local government. Can't do that.
Okay.
In Abuchi, they were, that there's segregation of duty.
Okay.
The provinces are taken care of by, people that are in charge. The council, like in the UK, the council take charge of, certain things.
Okay.
It's not already the government. We also have the local government system here that works.
Yeah.
And we can do that. I don't know, yes. And to talk to the people, can we have a solution? Because the people voted the government into power. Talk to us. And they should come like fathers to us. If you try to beat the system and try to create and say, if you are politics, what can we make? So our politics, no. and to be able.
And you be
See, I identify very angry. I want to beg the government and the leaders. They should help the president. I'm insisting on that.
They should help them. Okay. And it's owned by the gas. And they have festival more observing quietness in some weeks, let's say weeks, and it's mostly in May, the month of May to June. And this year, they have started making an announcement that very soon we'll be entering into that season of whiteness. So with letters normally distributed and everything they have come to say out there, what do you think about it?
Those are letters. So one of the problems I have with that, me and Mega.
Okay.
That's their festival. And over the years, we've done ministry for 30 years and about. Okay. You bought drums. Around that time now, normally, for example, you bought drums.
And every Sunday you do church service.
We do church service. Well, we use the microphones. They bring out they have been bringing the letters all the time. Reduce the noise. Now, you see noise now. You are not careful. People still walk into the church and come and carry the drums.
Even after reducing the noise?
After reducing the noise. Because he doesn't understand. He's nothing to measure. He walks in because he knows you have service on Sundays.
But he stated in the letter that the noise should be reduced.
Yes.
Not stopped.
Not stopped.
Reduced.
Reduced.
Okay.
But you see cry now we're far cry see the Triasica. But meanwhile, some people like us, they come to the church, we give them money. What I say, can follow the banner is you in himself, okay. That is the thing.
Okay.
We give some money. But at the same time, and then some we trust a woman on our part. So I'm beside you. I didn't cry with noise anymore. Me preaching crowd. I noise here look crowd. I me preaching. I'm to be last not my family now. He said, so I think that if they are going to do that, they should define it. And not everybody shall, because sometimes some people I think are not even sent to come to the place.
They just come
because they feel said they are not coming from the place that they are supposed to come to the place. All these things should be looked at. And if they are defining the noise to the people, let's define it well to the people. If it is no drumming, no dancing, state it. But you can't put the church in that mess. You just come and take the things. No, it's not fair. Some of the people that you are letting are the same your people that come from the same storehouse that are close to the Grand Chiefs. Kitaki is my very good friend. He's a Christian. We used to sing together National Theatre Nadia. They're my very good friend.
Okay, so
you understand? So you are letting somebody close to you or contributing in making sure that the state becomes the Grand State works. And it should spell it out. Clearly said, no noise or measure it and bringing people.
Yes,
free and you feel an baby. Now if I know the God, I say listen, it could count only more casa. I feel no one say, I think we have to look at all this and spell it out very, very well so the churches will understand. And otherwise, it's not a way to go.
Okay, Pastor, is it not like say the church is overstepping its boundaries because you know that every area is bounded by rules, their own beliefs and customs. So if you are in my land and I make rules, you have to go by the rules.
I agree with you too. Okay. First of all, spell out the rules well.
They should spell it out well.
Let them allow the rules to be fake. Number two, there is also, don't forget, freedom of worship. Which one is more powerful? The freedom of worship or the rules that govern between areas? Let's come clear. There's a certain vagueness I want here. Some of these things must be tested in the law courts for us to come clear on what it is about these things. If there are courts that must be set up to deal with it, let's set up the courts. In its vagueness, no, people pass behind the scene to misbehave. What defines a man, sir? What about the security of the Pakona? Do we want anything to go wrong before the Abba said, yes, sorry, sir? And let's define it well. Let the churches also know write letters to the churches, right people. They don't just, sometimes we should be able to get to the people within the church context. And some of the people who do this, they all go to church. So there should be a way to communicate to the church to say, okay, no drums, no instruments. Yeah, that's one thing. Or play it, reduce it, measure it well. Okay, because you are curtailing on the right of somebody if you ask him not to worship his God. You have your God, he has his God. His God is Christ. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Let's define it well. So that we are going to live in harmony. It's beautiful. I mean, we live in Ghana. For sure. Christians live in harmony with Muslims. It's a very peaceful country. Yeah, per se, Pastor was about to see an answer, what I said.
Okay.
So it should be done well. There's some level of mutual respect. You see, men, yes, sir, to which extent? Reduce it to me. Say, the church can comply. Now, be affected. Now, I said, the beauty of the peace that we enjoy.
We enjoy here. Okay, so now to say, Ahimfono should specify if this is how it should go about it. They should specify.
Actually, will normally come from AMA boss.
AMA boss, rather, not from the chiefs.
Not from the chiefs, but they work with the AMA.
Okay, so they AMA are the ones who deliver the letters.
Yes, absolutely.
And it should be clearly stated, said no noise or maybe reduce the noise.
Yes.
So that you know that, okay, you said no noise.
You can say, okay, when you are standing outside, you shouldn't hear it. Period.
Okay.
It's good enough to go. Don't do in the evening. I mean, tell it out. You don't say, oh, don't do. One day when somebody tests in the court of law, it's going to be very interesting.
Wedi asema ewo omayimu aba egie Accra mountain so dia ene jai edu ebri say dia no noise. Now so ni nyemu no, mostly we realize that the mosques are able to continue with worship. You hear the what do we call it? The one who speaks in the microphone to call them to worship. You hear them at dawn all the time that they're supposed to call for worship. You hear them calling, but when it comes to the church, then it's an issue. Is the problem with the church, or it's just that it is outlined, don't make too much noise, and you, the church...
Whether the church or the mosque, don't make noise, it's a statement that has been said.
Okay.
And we, as much as possible, within the context of what has been made, it should be defined so we can comply with it. What I say. And it will be yes and the honestly is breaking the rules. Interesting about defining idea. And I make us say, I'm crying for a storehouse. You are coming to us, don't come to us as if we are ordinary people. And don't come to us as if we are not educated. Okay. That's wrong. How can you grow the Ghana state? I'm saying, Kitaki is my brother. What did I say? I mean, madam, you're down by your core programs together. No, or producing music. Yeah, it's a doctor.
Okay.
What did I say?
Okay.
Yeah. Until you come differently. You come back to the church because we work with the church.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we work with the church. All these people you see around, they go to church. What is? We work with the church. We work with the pastors. The pastors work with the community. We are all integrated. And the undefined at the year.
So it doesn't infringe on the rights of the people in the church.
That's so. What do you mean by reduce? Is it off? Don't do that. You can say, okay, don't play drums. Fine. Yeah, fat drums will die in their call. It's drums.
You pay money.
No. We even will take the dance from there because they say don't play drums. Fine. Good to go.
Okay.
What did they can say? So don't mention a vague. No, we have a tamako every year now.
Okay.
Because I have the same thing. We ask, nobody tells us anything. And the time I use it, you cannot be about the time that they look at me. And nobody talks about it. It's even Jessica. I mean, it's not allowed. And necessarily.
And it's part of the system not working.
It's not working. It's not working. Interesting.
To fall in place.
To fall in place.
Okay.
So for the authorities, those who are in charge, I'm stress aspects, no. Then call you, and you're fine. You'll be stepping on people's toes. I'm here, you You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It doesn't work like that.
Okay, now Apostle, you come on in the baby, so with every issue that we have touched on today, we are bringing it all up. No, but last words, the final words of his own fans, so much of one year. That is all of it.
Okay, we person make a assembly after Dana Samasa.
Yeah. The same with the Ga festival.
The same. We person we can't issue about the Samasa. I think it's about apologize.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. And I want to plead with my people to just hold it there. It's fine. They should cease the fire. I'm pleading on the behalf of Danasa.
Okay.
Once she has come to apologize, we should cease the fire. She has come to apologize. We all people from one place. Let's see how. And in Ghana, we have a statement, Abakumawo, which means let the people come to us. The Ghana state is a very interesting state. That's why we have Kojo, we have Ni Kojo. The Kojo means that probably you have come to join us. There are people from called Tabon, which means they are from Brazil, the Nelsons. They're coming from outside Ghana. Brazilians who have come to join us. We have a culture to accommodate everybody. It's a beautiful culture. Just that other people should not take it for granted. I would say that it should calm down. She's only a young lady, and if she has come to apologize, I want the elders and the people, we as pastors, we're asking, we are working with them together. They shouldn't, somebody will come to them, they can't do that. They shouldn't do that. There's freedom of worship, and they should maintain that culture of Abakumawo. Those who are listening understand what I have said.
Okay.
Which means let everybody come to us.
Okay.
Come and join us. That's what it means. Yes.
Okay. And yeah, Apostle better was say. Now, it was your for Dina Asamoah Asemako touchy on no F and some year a bra a better just a cofuba a bra that's a son our non so cut nice years so can be so she said what to say a yepa na enje or Jumedin Mondo back one when there was none Jumedin Korancha Crampa enje a homo festival the crampono to be child or by moon said by do Saturday ya. And simply any sin to notice or can I want no need to Christo sumu say and check rampono say evangelist Jumano Koswa or more afashion of Caponasha nipa ebe jaidia to say Beko Yaman no and can find him for any of you to note memphone who said that be Wakaseti or Mamre when Buomo and Anamadia or the Eja or Minentino or Moniano a year and Mebuni Binyani Casitiaka cra and Nuntiman so Emma or non so bad when Tebe apologize here. My name money I think I say I done the chips no at on dry she moves so many in India and no dear in my embassy Baswa information be able to Chibiano too much age they be to man not to say yeah they are some na and nona Apostle Dr. Walter Sakwamante etachi on say and Gabeya and for no in Yaman and car because a grandmother no the much I want to open na from Tobia they are for a patch on quaddy or man or encano more empty not as once na and grandmonte and moonat as it was for and some you see Anissa dear come was some year as a war and war adrian chipia or more tiana fafa your comment section or never sunging na a musuno share video way on all the social media platforms. So, Dr. Apostle Dr. Walter Sakwamante, the number and actually Kuma, and no, and the Fidena so with me, a fan, one friend of counseling, any other issue, yeah, but no one in any room, come with me, a friend on that number. Now with me, and no ATM, come on now, many AC, no matter, my cameraman, DKM, Kojumeku, I say, any of you know, engineers, I would go on my video, yeah, come, I want to me, channel. Let me ensure more, me didn't know, I'm a some new AC. Subscribe to your channel. Now we are the my best in it is